Ladies and gentlemen, this is What the Show, ho ho. And it is May the 4th. So
it's Star Wars Christmas.
It is. And we put out our milk and cookies. Our blue milk and cookies for Chewbacca. I've been a good Padawan all year.
No, you haven't.
Good enough.
You've been killing younglings all year.
And we are ready to celebrate the holiday.
The high and holy holiday of May the 4th.
Mike.
How are you doing, AJ?
I'm doing well. Hello there.
How are you? Doing wonderful. May the 4th is a real special day for Bethany and I. She should be walking in the door any moment right now. But for those of you who don't know, 2 years ago, May the 4th is the day we got engaged. So this is a very important day for the two of us. And we got engaged at Hollywood Studios in the BB-8 meet and greet experience. So it's, which currently right now is not open due to the pandemic. But we always, that's a tradition of ours. We go to Hollywood Studios every May the 4th. It's one of our favorite days of the entire year. So yeah, this is a big day for us, and happy to get to share some of our love of Star Wars with some of our favorite people. Of course, we've got our other co-host who has he finished fixing his background, Mr. Juice.
He is here, and yes, that is Mr. Justin the Juice.
What's going on? I'm ready to have a war of stars, as one might say.
Nice.
Awesome. So before we get into things, it is a new month. It is May. And that means it's time for a new charity. So what we're doing this month, since it's we're doing This is the May. It is going to have, Star Wars is going to have at least mentions in every single episode. We're going to be donating all of our Streamlabs this month to the 501st Legion's Make-A-Wish Foundation Endowment Fund. So the 501st Legion, for those of you who don't know, they are the foremost cosplayers in the Star Wars fandom, and they have a foundation that they have with Make-A-Wish that they try to make kids' Star Wars wishes come true. So thought it was a perfect charity to go for this month. Tonight and tonight only. I decided to give a little incentive for everybody to donate. What I have right here is the official Star Wars May the 4th 2021 pin. Everybody who donates at least $5 tonight will be put into a raffle. We will pull that name out of a hat. Whoever's name we pull out of that hat is getting this pin. So donate and pin the Streamlabs. Pin the Streamlabs. All right. So,
all right.
Now, with that in mind, we're going to jump into why we love Star Wars. We have a super cool guest with us tonight. She is fairly new to the Schmodown space. However, she is a Dragon Con champion. So let us welcome Marie Wilson.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you. Happy to be
Very
here.
cool to have you here.
Yeah.
So
I just noticed that's a Babu Frick shirt.
Yes,
That's pretty
it is. I love him so much.
who does
I have the little plush of him too. And it's so perfectly sized and makes the cutest noises, and he's wonderful.
That's fantastic.
And speaking of,
Hi everyone! I love Star Wars so much that I planned my entire wedding around it, and I was so excited to show off wedding photos that I ran late tonight. But hi everyone! How's it going? Nice to meet you,
Good
Marie.
to see you, Bethany.
Nice to meet you.
all right.
I made it. Not just in time.
You were just a few.
Close enough.
It's what the showtime.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, we wouldn't be ready at this point.
I kept knocking things over in my background just to save time so that Bethany would be on time.
Thank you,
But
Juice. You're
did
such
my
a
best.
lunch. You did.
So we have a couple other people waiting in the background. I think we bring everybody into the fold right now that we have. This gentleman is going to be making a second appearance on What the Show. Mr. Danny Martinez. How are
Hey
you?
everyone. How are you?
Matt.
Yeah,
Darth.
I had so much
Danny.
fun last week. I was like, I'm just gonna come back the next week.
You just kept on showing up
That's how
every
Juice
day.
and I
That
got
was
stuck
5 years
hosting
ago.
the show.
You
So
better
you
be
do it.
careful.
Yeah.
I kept putting in random numbers into the StreamYard link, and I got in here.
Yeah.
Way
Speaking
to
of
Great
people
move.
that we can't shake, we have Mr. John Getz joining us tonight.
Hey.
Hello there.
Yes, John. Way to make an entrance.
Taking my move. Taking my move.
Top that.
Did you have a hood though?
I did not. I did not have a hood. So yeah, guys, it's really chill night tonight. We're just talking about the things that like why we love Star Wars, what made us fall in love with it, and things that keep on maintaining that love throughout the years. I mean, it's all positivity tonight. So
Also,
let's
what are your traditional May 4th plans? Do you do anything special on this high holy day?
yeah. So Marie, so what made you fall in love with Star Wars? We can start with you and kind of move around, kind of thing.
Okay. Well, when I saw it for the first time when I was 10 years old in 1996, and I just absolutely became immediately obsessed. And I was a very obsessive child, so it was a little much sometimes. But I would, on all of my tests and everything, I would draw little pictures of Star Wars characters. And when I was 12, I think, I went to the Magic of the Myth, which was a Smithsonian exhibit
Oh yeah.
that it was incredible. And there was like a Jabba puppet and slave Leia outfit and just all kinds of cool stuff. And so, of course, obviously started out with the original trilogy, but then the prequels took my heart. And I love the prequels so much.
I love some love for the prequels. Heck yeah, that's what we're about.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
about
Tonight.
Star Wars tonight.
So just, I don't know, with the prequels, I feel like I kind of, in a slightly separated way, but was growing up with Anakin. And so I kind of, Anakin's my favorite character, not Darth Vader, Anakin. So I feel like I really connected with him as he grew up. Yeah, I have never killed younglings.
Yeah.
Never done anything that crazy.
That's a relief.
Well, he was Darth Vader at that point, so you're totally talking about a
There you
different
go.
person.
Yeah.
There you go.
Valid
I
point,
don't
John.
think
Good
he was
point.
officially Anakin anymore.
I do not blame Hannah Montana for anything that Miley Cyrus has ever done.
That's also accurate, AJ.
Ah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I bet Darth Vader even likes sand. That's how like far removed he is from
Ooh, that's
Anakin.
a bold statement.
It gets in all that machinery. I don't know about that. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Problems. You don't want to get any like draining substance like in your.
He's got it in all his filters. He's just like having the
Not good at
stormtroopers
all.
blow him out with air hoses for a week. It's just terrible.
He's probably not visiting. in
I
the
want
future,
that scene.
to be honest.
Ah. That would be awesome.
So, Marie, what was the first one you saw in theaters?
I think I don't recall seeing any of the special editions in theaters.
So,
So Phantom Menace would be the first one I saw in theaters.
Same.
And The Revenge of the Sith was my high school graduation present to myself to go see it at midnight with my little brother. And I was dressed as a mixture of Luminara and Dooley and Barriss Offee. And my brother was my Padawan, complete with a Padawan braid. And it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That sounds
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
So
I don't
quick
remember.
episode one fact. I've shared it on here before, but anybody who hasn't heard it, so for Phantom Menace, I was so stoked, and I was like 10 years old when it came out. I was so stoked for it that my sister and I convinced my dad that we really wanted to see Wing Commander because they had a trailer for Star Wars Episode 1 before it.
Nice.
No.
And then
Yeah.
we convinced him that we loved the movie so much that we wanted to see it again.
Didn't that have Mark Hamill in it? Or maybe
Mark
I'm thinking
Hamill?
of Maybe I'm thinking of a game
did a
called Wing
voice.
Commander that had Mark Hamill in it. But
He did a voice for both.
oh,
The
okay.
Wing Commander movie though with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. It's not the best video game movie.
One of those is tangentially connected to Star Wars now. So
Yeah, I was gonna say who would later. Yeah,
But we convinced my dad so much that we loved it that we got to see it twice.
I just
Yeah.
love how like
Trailer.
1999 that statement is
Yeah.
that like that's how you had to like watch your movie trailers.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah.
You love Wing Commander.
Yeah.
They would either, or you could watch like the OC or something like that, where they premiere it, like some show that Fox wanted, but you always had to wait till the last commercial breaks because they made you watch the whole show.
It's Revenge of the Sith. They really
Yep.
did like. It
But-
was an OC episode. I remember that as a fan of both things. No shade toward the OC. It's a good
at
show.
least we could
Oh,
only
no,
tape
yeah.
it.
Watch it.
We could VCR. We could tape it on our VCR, and then we could watch it
And you
whenever we
like
wanted.
fast forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good time.
So Dan, what was your first Star Wars movie theater experience?
It was also the Phantom Menace, and I don't remember seeing any of the movies before that.
It's an interesting way to start.
It really is. I don't even think I watched the other ones till I was out of high school, just because back then it wasn't my thing. Like I like going to the movies, which is why I went to watch all the movies. Like I would go watch pretty much any movie, but I never understood. I mean, I like that people were excited about the movies because I didn't know it. I didn't know what it had been like. Wait 30 years for another one. And then I kind of got into it after college. It was a little bit more like it just kind of kept ramping up, and I was like, oh wait, those were good, but these are good too. Like they're like the ones from the 70s and the first 3 movies, like those are really good too. So
Wow, that's a really interesting experience. Like
Hearing people that like didn't start with the original trilogy because I feel like that's a rare breed. So that's interesting.
yeah,
I
I mean,
like
I might
that.
have seen them, but I just don't remember. Like it's
Have
not
a
present.
recollection of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Marie, you mentioned that you saw your first Star Wars movie at 10, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like me, that you didn't come from like a Star Wars family, like necessarily.
Yeah, not. I mean, they're extremely supportive of my current obsession, but it's not like there were Star Wars things in the
Yeah. Didn't like
Yeah.
grow up around it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool. Like my first Star Wars movie was Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Like that was my very first one. So that's a great starting off point, I guess, when I just had those 3 movies I randomly caught on TNT and I didn't know what's going on. But John, how about you, man? What was your first one?
Well, the first one in quote unquote theaters, I definitely remember because it was at the drive-in for Phantom Menace whenever I was 7. And I definitely,
Same.
I'm out in the country here in PA, so we have a thriving drive-in actually out here even now.
Is that what it's called? Because
what's that?
That's
Oh,
that's
no,
a
that
really
is-
good name.
That is a good name, actually. Copyright.
Drive-in.
Just
Drive and
you've got
drive.
your own thing. I like
Yeah, it was episode 1 as well,
Feeling this.
though. I didn't see the originals until like slightly before that. I remember those distinctly too, though, because it was at a Boy Scout thing where we were staying at a water park overnight. And so like once the park closed, they did like a projector with all 3 of them like in a row. And so we like stayed up like really late and watched the
late
original
night.
trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, that doesn't
Oh my-
sound like the Boy Scout way. Be
Wait
like,
a
all
minute.
right, we're staying
I
You're
up
in
know.
a water park and watching Star Wars all night? Can I do this like now?
Great first Star Wars.
Next Schmodown Live event, we're renting out.
I think we're all about to join the adult Boy
I can make
Scouts.
something happen.
You only hear bad things about Boy Scouts, but that was my experience with them,
Yeah,
so
that-
I don't mind one bit.
Told me on the Boy Scouts. I don't think I'm allowed to join as an adult woman.
I think
but
we all might be a little bit old for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Juice shaves his mustache, then maybe not. He could pass, but
And speaking of which, Mike might look like a supple 19-year-old man. However, he drove to see the first Star Wars movie in theaters.
That's true.
And I want to hear that story.
Exactly.
Special Edition New Hope was the first one that I did see in theaters. But yeah, I was born for Jedi. I was very, very young, but I was around for it. But I did see all of them on VHS. Unlike, I am the one who was born into a Star Wars family, so I had grown up. I had those 3 movies my entire life. We actually had the first versions we had on VHS that weren't like just copied off the TV were CBS Fox logo ones. So that's how old those were. Like it had the it wasn't just the 20th Century Fox. It said CBS Fox before it, which kind of crazy. But I saw Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones at midnight. I've told my story about Revenge of the Sith when I was working at the movie theater.
I got this Dr. Pepper tonight.
Sorry, if you're new to the channel, if you have a drink,
Anytime
movie
anyone
theater.
mentions when we worked at the movie theater, you take a drink.
I've told this story before to make it very short. We got our copies in very last minute, and we were told by our corporate offices we had to watch them. I was watching a print of it at 9 o'clock that was going to show publicly at midnight, and I was the only one in the theater with the people waiting to get into the midnight show with the security guard blocking the door. So I was paid to do that too. So that was fantastic.
Yes.
And I've
The
seen
only time Star Wars gave him money. The rest of his life, he's just given.
The rest has been paid back.
I've got a lot from me today.
That's a good investment.
A whole lot of money from us. Too.
When Edgy said that you drove, Mike, I was like, so he watched the first 3, and then he's like, carbon frees me until they make more. That's how you stayed young.
But our first movie date was to see Rogue One. So
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Nice.
a romance, like a movie where spoilers.
that's my favorite. That's my favorite one.
Everyone
Me
dies.
too.
My favorite non-original.
Yeah, Rogue One's my favorite one of all of them. So, so good
too.
date. Good date, I
See-
can see.
I love that there are people here who have others
I
outside the
agree.
trilogy because I'm a huge Solo guy. So
Nice.
yeah.
Like
And
Solo.
Solo is good, and I wish it would have gotten a sequel if it would have just made like a little bit more money because that ending deserved a sequel. And also just take this moment to compliment Juice on his haircut because I haven't been able to yet because I
thank you.
popped on the stream late.
what's the haircut for the prom?
Looking snazzy there, Juice. Oh yeah, was it?
It wasn't for it. I forget why I got it.
But it coincided, and you had it for the prom.
Oh, I got it because my shower is being remodeled, and so, or my bathroom's being remodeled, so I can only occasionally shower. So I needed a short haircut so that I could get by a few days without a shower and still look like a decent human being.
I respect that. Also, I'd like to reiterate that Juice was not attending the prom. He was chaperoning it. He's young, but he's not that young, everyone. Make that known.
Yeah.
He was chaperoning the prom.
He drove to The Force Awakens.
Phantom Menace, yeah, I did drive to the Force.
It's like that guy in Transformers 4. He's like Romeo and Juliet clause. I'm going to this prom.
Yeah, that's Juice. I think that's a good. That should be like that whatever meme that's like tell me how old you are, whatever, tell me this without telling me this, tell me you live in wherever without telling me you live in wherever thing. That should be like the Star Wars version of figuring out someone's age. It's like, which Star Wars movie could you drive to? So it's like, tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are. What was the first Star Wars film you were able to drive to?
Technically,
That
it was
should be
Phantom
the-
Menace for me.
That should be the new thing.
Force Awakens technically,
I would say,
technically I could have driven to Clone Wars, but I didn't see that movie in theaters.
yeah, that's sorry. Clone
That's
Wars.
probably a good thing.
Yeah, I
I
guess
saw
that would be Force Awakens because I only would have had a learner's permit during Revenge of the Sith.
I could have drove to Revenge of the Sith.
If an adult was going with me, I would have been able to drive.
Clone Wars for you too, then technically could have been.
Yes, Clone Wars
Yeah.
could happen if, again, any of us had actually gone and seen it. That's a fun.
If anybody, period, had seen that.
Clone Wars?
I saw it in theaters.
Wow.
All right, so we have the one.
I saw it in theaters too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because she actually went and saw Clone Wars in theaters.
Yeah.
I watched them all in theaters. I just didn't know what I was getting into.
Oh, that's rough, Danny.
Oh, I just meant as a whole of the fandom, because it was my second Star Wars movie ever. I didn't watch the other ones in between. So I watched the first 3 as they came out, and then later I watched the other ones.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was not old enough to drive for Phantom Menace. Spoiler alert. But I was old enough.
You're not.
But I was still old enough for that to be my first movie in theaters.
Nice.
As I probably told in the story on the show when we had our original Star Wars episode. But
yeah, did kind of talk about, the hosts have discussed a little bit of some of this.
But yeah, for me, are we saying our answers, or are we just asking our guests those questions?
Oh yeah.
You can throw out for people who did not hear
Love Fest
before. We're here to love.
I'd love to hear
I
it,
don't
Juice.
need
I
to.
haven't heard it.
All right,
I haven't
okay.
heard it.
I haven't heard it, Juice.
Yeah, so I saw Phantom Menace was my first in theaters. But yeah, I grew up with the original trilogy on VHS. So like I was watching, so basically the pivotal years where I was watching Star Wars was I had seen Phantom Menace in theaters. Granted, I was a very, very small child and didn't remember it. But I saw all the VHSs of the original trilogy, and then
from the library.
No, that was we own those. I still have the copies, so they're at my parents' house.
They own those. Okay.
I can get the copies; they'll be in the background someday. But and then I saw Attack of the Clones, and that was like when I finally like could process, even though I was probably
2002.
I was probably 6.
But
I could still like fully process. I was like, Anakin's gonna turn into Darth Vader. I was still saying like that kind of stuff. I'm like this tall, but it was great.
But even when you were 6 years old, you were like, the costuming in this movie is so glorious.
I was like, the lighting.
Thought.
With how like the lighting when he's running or like around the club and it's like all dark on his face.
He was like, "This love dialogue is unbelievable. I don't believe it."
Why would you like sand? Who doesn't like sand?
People are gonna say the storytelling is bad, but I get it. It's about politics.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the text code.
Understand everything.
Why?
He's taking
He
notes.
has all these force powers and he's using it to cut fruit.
Oh, I hope that's a little 6-year-old you was thinking, Juice. That's adorable. I'm going to be honest. If I did have force powers, I would use it to cut fruit because I am that lazy. I'd be like, using a knife to cut an apple. They're like,
remote so far away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be using a remote.
I would
not be using a remote.
the hell out of the force if I was like in touch with it and could use it. Yeah. It would not be pretty.
You would be dark side.
What? Maybe. I'd like to think that I would be a good person, but then I think about things like that.
Use your power for what? That's not easy. Okay.
Really have to talk me into it. I'd be like, oh, I can do, and then that. Well, all right, buddy. I think I kind of like what you're selling better. I'm into it.
He makes a lot of good points, Jedi. Counterpoint? No? All right.
Well, and technically, isn't any Star Wars related wedding technically a Sith wedding?
That's true.
Like all that stuff.
Hey, technically, my favorite character is neither a Jedi nor a Sith, so like it's fine. I can, I can
Bendu
lightsaber and like be a good person and fight for the side of the rebellion and like not, and still be able to get married or whatnot.
Friend of the show, Lego, brings up something amazing. Where's the Star Wars pod racing show?
Give it a few years, and Disney Plus
probably
will
inevitable.
One, and I will watch it. I also want to say, I was just thinking about this because we were talking about Phantom Menace a lot. Again, this is how much we love Star Wars, and which I will say, this is no shade to Phantom Menace. It just happens to be my least favorite of the films. I will still pick to watch that over most other films. But get this. But The Phantom Menace is literally the first song that started our reception, and a song about The Phantom Menace is the song that ended our reception. So what is considered technically my least favorite Star Wars film had a big presence in our wedding.
It has the best music.
That's awesome.
It does
Probably
have
in
some
all
good.
of
I mean,
it.
our first dance was technically to a song from the Phantom. There are 3 songs. I'm now realizing this.
I really hope it was Duel of the Fates because
It was.
Yes.
We had our bridal party enter to Augie's great municipal band. Try saying that.
Oh, I love that
I
song.
love that song. I love it even more after the last hour celebration when David W. Collins broke down how amazing that song is.
You liar.
So
There's
yes,
no one
I
there.
did make our bridal party come out to a song that's basically like, ha ha ha, Galaxy, you just selected the Empire, the Emperor. Well, kind of, yeah. And so yes, so that is what we did, and then Weird Al's "The Saga Begins" is what was our last dance at our wedding. So yeah, very all Phantom Menace stuff. Juice sounding along, he was there dancing to it all.
I had to pull up I was pulling up the lyrics at the end just so I could sing along. Me, Jerry, and Jake, and like 7 other people were like just moving their heads over to see the phone screen so we could all sing along.
I'm amazed that Jerry does not know the words by heart.
He probably knew the words, but he was still. He probably actually did know them. But
Guys, I need to call attention to something that just happened in the chat.
Yes.
So Jake Ekavez said, I just watched the wedding video again, and Jesus fuck, y'all need to reimburse me for the tissues.
Well, damn.
And
No worries.
Lego came in with way to be X-rated, shaking my head.
Yeah, that could be interpreted 2 different ways with tissues.
What a dunk.
Lego, this is why you are welcome on the show anytime. Those great responses. That is hysterical.
But yeah,
real quick, French bringing up, I'm a Hondo fan myself. This makes me think we need a Gucci-verse What the Show crossover where we talk about the biggest scumbags of Star Wars.
oh,
That'd be a great show.
No, he's kind of a scumbag.
There's a great Hondo animatronic
He's the
at
best.
the theme parks now.
Oh,
You go on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. He's like the host of the ride, basically.
I do love Hondo.
Yeah, I love Hondo. Yeah.
I'm glad that he's getting his due. No. He's great.
for the audio listeners, Jake said,
Too late, Jake. You can't backpedal now.
I can just picture Jake's reaction. It's fuck you guys.
Jake did
fair,
enter
that's me
the
most of the time.
reception with his classic Bud Light, which I literally did not know until yesterday because I was out in the hall, so I could not see that. But in looking at the photos, I was like, typical. Yeah, that tracks. That does make sense that Jake would enter with the Bud Light. While we're on loving the Phantom Menace, can we all just briefly talk about one of my favorite memories of the Phantom Menace, which was the hype over the TRL world premiere of Duel of the Fates. I have maybe more vivid memories of being so hyped for TRL to premiere that music video than I have memories of being hyped to see it. And I was very hyped to see the movie. But I just think of those good TRL days, and I was wondering if anyone else has any recollection because it was the first footage we were going to see, and it was the first music we were going to hear from the new Star Wars film. John Williams is back, baby, and everyone was real hype. And again, the most 90s thing you could say is I was really excited to watch TRL because they were going to be debuting the new Star Wars song. So it was some good stuff. Does anyone have any?
If it weren't for that music video, I would have seen I would have seen Wing Commander 17 times.
So really, we should say thank you, Carson Daly and the team of TRL for saving.
There would have been a sequel to Wing Commander if not for that.
I always remember just being shocked at hearing the chorus of it, that they actually had vocals in it. Because, in the original trilogy, it was all, instrumentals. And I'm like, oh, wow, this took another step. The whole music evolved for the prequels, as above what the original ones were. And that's saying a lot. That's saying an absolute lot. So the original it's 3 of the best soundtracks of all time.
Yeah, I mean, while we're doing this, shout out John Williams. He scored our lives. He has scored a third of my life, pretty much.
Well, and just thinking of what he's done in film alone, is he one of the greatest composers who's ever lived?
You can take out
one of the
Beethoven, Mozart.
is the greatest composer that's ever lived.
Yeah, like if you just asked me on the street, John Williams, like maybe I could go do some research and come up with somebody else, but nah, I don't need to. John Williams got it.
I know we're being positive tonight, but here's the worst thing that I got to miss because of COVID was John Williams was going to come to Pittsburgh in June of last year, and I had tickets like perfect on the balcony, and then it got canceled. I was like,
yeah.
But they said it's just rescheduled, so hopefully he stays in good health and everything, and eventually it will happen.
He seems to be like doing well. I know he's getting up there, but I feel like he's still like with it. He's
There was a video not too long ago of one of his neighbors who has a kid who's really into playing music, and he went outside of his house, and I think it was the trumpet that he played one of his songs. And John Williams comes out and like shakes the kid's hand. He's like, "That was really good." And he's like, "You really had it in this part of it."
And then he gave him a cease and desist.
No, he just said that really sucked. You were really dragging on that one part. I would not have hired you for my band.
He whiplashed him and just slapped him a couple times.
He just threw an instrument at him. Shut up.
I do think he does grow strong hair with every Oscar nomination. Jeff, you're right.
Don't he just curls them. He's got his Oscars.
Good point.
So Lego brings up he's amazing live. If you have the chance, do it. He tells stories about all the songs. I've heard this, and I haven't had the opportunity to see him live. I just really want to. I really want to look that up.
Me too.
See if there's like live performance videos.
Completed that you got? I don't think so.
The Tony, I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to.
Where's my Star Wars play?
Someone's going to look that up.
Oh my god. Jedi robes are very impractical, especially on Mustafar. He would have died of sweat.
Yeah.
100%.
He needs a Tony.
So people,
Does
so
need a Tony?
he's missing. Okay, that's what we thought.
Okay, so that's why we need Star Wars the stage musical.
Yes.
Star Wars Turn of the Dark.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You are speaking my language right now.
I would pay.
McClunky the musical.
Also pay good money.
Instead of La Bamba, they just say McClunky.
Oh, it's a play that takes place only in at that table at the cantina. The whole play takes place right there at the table in the cantina.
Yeah.
You know what?
The cantina band. They hire a singer. Then they like fire him or something, and like he like walked up the stage right before the McClunky scene happens.
This could be the origins of how Rex becomes the DJ in Oga's Cantina at like in the parks. I want to know. I want to know how he went from being a pilot to a DJ, and also yes, they did sell wishables of Star Tours, and I got a Rex today, and I was really really happy about it. This made my whole day.
Oh, that Rex. Okay, I was like Captain Commander Rex.
Yeah,
He's
no,
a
sorry.
DJ now?
The theme park, the droid Rex.
I thought Dex at first, and
Dex,
Dexter
no, we need
Jeff.
Dex the musical. It all takes place in the 50s cantina.
DJing is not a bad retirement plan for a commander.
The more you talk about this, Juice, the more I'm into it. Actually. Who can we get to direct this? I mean, Julie Taymor will do anything, so put her on it. Let's see. It could turn into an Across the Universe, or it could turn into a Spider-Man Turn Out the Dark. You don't know.
We do know what
I'm so down for either of those options.
How about Lion King? She did Lion King on Broadway. Everybody loved that.
Okay, I now need a mix of all three.
All right, I'm into it. I think Spider-Man, if it wasn't so damn expensive, would have been a hit.
And dangerous.
And also dangerous.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a problem.
He just had to crawl in walls.
So there's a reason Spider-Man doesn't exist in real life, and now we know why.
And now we know why. Well, you know, Disney is trying to like come up with like actual lightsabers, right? So maybe that's the time that we can bring it to Broadway, is when we can, you know, actually produce like a laser sword.
When we have the risk to actually kill each other during the play, it's definitely going to have some stakes.
And that's when we hired Julie Taymor.
I mean,
And that's when we hired Julie Taymor.
those Anakin actors need to get paid a lot.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna be honest, and again, I know this is a
We
love
also
fest
need clones.
but making
So-
actual laser swords does not sound like it's going to end well for anyone, right?
Everybody's gonna try to spin it around and just kill themselves. Like if you try to do the fancy moves at all, you're
Everyone that
going
wants
to.
to like a badass. Also, this is a fun
That's why
fact
you
for
need the
everyone
force.
because I just came in from my lightsaber class. Well, I was at my lightsaber class, and then I went to go show like the maid of honor in our wedding, the wedding photos that came in. So anyways, walking around your apartment complex with lightsabers is the coolest you will ever feel because like literally everyone just like stares at you and is like, oh, don't want it. I'm like, hey, how you doing? May the fourth be with you. All right, let's go. My lightsabers here. Don't ask questions. But yeah, our like one next door neighbor, like every time I swear I'm like walking to class and I have my lightsabers, like sees me and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm certain he is terrified of me. So yeah, if you ever
No.
like walking in a dark like alley at night or an apartment, just carry a lightsaber. People they cower.
Now, if you're walking in, you have your lightsaber. I'm not saying that if you see somebody's apartment being robbed to stop it, but if you accidentally do that, you are a legend.
It would be really cool.
Automatically.
I'm not sure I'd have the guts for it, but if I did, nor necessarily, I think I could get a good headshot in, and I could at least like knock down
You got to use the hilt, I think, really, at the end of
Yeah,
the
that's
day.
the most solid part of those.
stronger part than
Yeah.
the
You
actual-
can't just be like, bonk, go to jail. Like,
Oh, it only works for horny jail.
I said, stop.
Bonk, Yoda.
Bunk, go to jail.
Straight on to jail you go.
So
Oh.
we're a little over 30 minutes into the show. We actually had a few videos sent in. And Juice, why don't we roll some of those right now?
Well, if you will be
before we do, we did just get our first Streamlabs donation of the
All
night.
right.
We got $5 from Mr. Jake Yakavetta. Getting a raffle ticket for this. Remember, we do have the raffle going on. If we're supporting Make-A-Wish, can you grant my wish that Mike takes that dumbass hat off? No.
That will require a much
yeah.
larger donation.
Here's what I'll say to that, people. If you want Jake to not win that pin,
Right now,
donate, because right now he's the only person that's going to get it.
Come on, Brandy. I saw you in the
I
chat.
feel like Jake not getting the pin will get people to donate more than themselves actually getting the pin.
Actually, yeah. That's very true.
And I'll wait for his FU Juice comments. But while we do that, let's roll a video of somebody that also makes Jake mad.
May the fourth be with you guys. Why we love Star Wars? Why don't we love Star Wars? Star Wars Empire Strikes Back was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. A New Hope, I don't even remember seeing for the first time because it's always been a part of me. I mean, like your heart, your body, your lungs. I mean, humans are made up of 60% water. I think I'm made up of at least 40% Star Wars then, because that's how deeply ingrained I am with the movies, the books, the comics, the lifestyle. The toys, the action figures, the role-playing games. It really is the one place I can go where nothing else matters. I can just immerse myself in that galaxy far, far away, and I just feel right. Other franchises come and go, and I love them deeply as well. My home will always be Star Wars. Have a great 4th, guys. Take care.
PLD, the second best mustache in the biz.
Home will always be Star Wars. Like PLD, why? It's a great soundbite.
I know. He's good with words sometimes.
He couldn't
That's
switch to a
scruffy
Star Wars
ass
hat.
nerd
He had to
burger.
keep the Queen one on, even for this.
And it's his trademark, John. He can't. It's like
Yeah.
a security blanket. He can't get rid of it. Well, speaking of trading hats.
I don't know. Jake, if you donate more, I'll switch to this.
Just put it on top of the other one. Wear them both.
The thing I wanted to touch on though, with what Paul said though, is that like the thing that I love most about Star Wars is that it is an entire fucking galaxy, man. There's stuff for kids. There's you're looking for an action movie or an adventure.
It's
Yeah,
literal
that's there.
for
There's romance. There's drama. There's this entire world. There's novels. They created something where like the first time I saw Rogue One in theaters, I was dating this woman that had she had 3 kids, and I told myself that I wouldn't date anybody with kids and that I'd never have kids. But we went to see Star Wars Rogue One on Christmas Eve. before opening presents, and I took 3 kids to this, right? On the way back, the 5-year-old, she sat through the entire movie. She was quiet. She was the one that we thought was going to be a problem. On the way back, I'm going to change her name just because I said, hey, Ruby, guess what? They filmed that entire movie on Earth. And she was like, no way. She didn't believe me. That's the magic of Star Wars, that you forget that sometimes watching these movies. You forget that it comes from this world. It's so encompassing and so large and so wrapped into our pop culture. But yeah, it's actually a story that I've never told anybody on camera. I've told a few friends, but and people in my life around them. But it's just, Star Wars is fucking awesome, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
I concur with that statement wholeheartely. Kind of ping-ponging off that and what PLD said, but he was talking about how I think it's crazy that this one, little technically independent movie started this whole big world. And, a lot of times when people talk about Star Wars, we do talk about our love for the movies. But I was curious, were you all ever, what's your favorite thing in the Star Wars universe that isn't the movies? Whether it's the shows, the novels, the comics, the conventions, the theme park stuff, the video games. What's your go-to Star Wars content that isn't actually going to a movie theater and watching one of the movies? We'll start with you, John.
So the parks, I have a really good story about this. I didn't go to Disney World until 2016. So about 5 years ago. And I took my mom instead of the inverse that it normally is, because she hadn't been there since the 80s. And we got to Star Tours, and that was just flabbergasting, seeing how real everything looked, and got a picture with Chewbacca. We just, all the droids, they look so awesome. And then the actual ride itself, it was updated with the Force Awakens stuff at that point. And it was just, I'm not a big roller coaster guy. So the virtual and shake you around a little bit is awesome for me. And it just simulates the feeling of being in space and everything. But it was sweet.
I will say I have ridden Star Tours a gazillion times, and it wasn't until I was today years old, literally today when we went to rewrite it, and this lovely cast member who thoroughly loved her job, I think she was great, was telling us if anyone, because sometimes that ride does get people with motion sickness because it is a simulated ride.
Yeah.
And, it's been around for a while. They did redo it a few years back, but it has been around for a while. And she was if you do tend to be a little more sensitive, sit more toward the middle. If you want a little bit of a bumpier ride, sit toward the outside of the ride. And I was like, I've been on this ride a gazillion times and no one has told me that. And that makes perfect sense. When she said it, but I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome to know. Because if I'm maybe I just had lunch, maybe I should sit in the middle, and save the outside for another day. But what is your thing that isn't movies that you love about Star Wars?
Real quick, I did want to mention real quick, we did get a couple more Streamlabs donations in. Matt Munoz donated $5 saying I can't let Jake win the pin.
Yes.
And Miss Lady Dog Brandy donated $50.
Oh, Brandy.
Brandy, I knew you'd come through.
Much love to you all. And that's the thing, is that all of this does go to charity. So, now we just got another one. Just one more before we go back into actually going back in the stream. By the way, guys, put in why you love Star Wars into these Streamlabs if you feel like it, please. But Jake Yacovetta donated $5 saying, Paul Softass refuses to join live. How dare you give him any respect? I'm here for y'all like I always am. But you give love to that disloyal fuck. I see how it is. I'm out. I'm gonna go watch Roka's stream instead.
I want to see that I want to see that in an opening crawl, just that Streamlab in an opening crawl in the movie.
Yeah, I'd be into that. I'm not gonna lie.
Episode
Bethany,
10.
you
Jake's
saying me to go next?
I said Danny, but
Danny,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
gotcha.
Yeah.
It kind of cut out when you said the name, so I was.
Yeah. That's why I was waiting to see.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, it got like really awkwardly quiet for a minute, and I'm like, Danny, can you hear me?
Luckily, AJ's a consummate professional, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take this time, this low."
Yeah, he's like, this
Jump
I
in
know.
with the-
That statement has never been made before.
Yeah, take it.
Never.
Listen,
Let me
he's
tell you
the one-
something, Jake. Outlaw's right here. Keep on this stream. Let's go.
Lego is offering to make the crawl. Yes,
Oh,
I like
Oh,
it.
thank you, Lego. Oh, I can't wait to see
yes,
it.
please.
Can we get that transcript to Lego, please?
AJ, on you.
In the meanwhile, I'll answer the question.
I'll put it in the World Friends chat.
Thanks. I think my favorite thing outside the movies, it has to be the comics. I after the acquisition by Disney, which also now owns Marvel, and they own pretty much everything on the West Coast and the East Coast. So Marvel started putting out the new comics. So once in 2014, all the Star Wars titles relaunched, and I have bought and read pretty much every Star Wars series that's come out since then because they're all really good. Like everything has been good to like amazing. It introduced one of my favorite characters, who's Dr. Aphra. If you haven't read the Dr. Aphra comics, I highly recommend it. She's just so cool. Yeah. Anyways, I could talk about Dr. Aphra for an hour, but I won't. And then, other than that, I've read some of the books. I think the Captain Phasma book is probably my favorite because it gives you the story that we didn't get in the movies that I guess there wasn't time for. But yeah, just the comics, they're constant. They keep coming up. They're filling in all these gaps, and there's so much time in between the movies, prior to and before. Like even now with all this High Republic stuff, like it's such a wide area that they could do stuff. And I love reading comics, so like that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I really need to get into Dr. Aphra. I've heard so many good things.
Side note on Dr. Aphra that might make it more accessible for people. They actually just consolidated a bunch of them and put them into an audiobook. Because I was browsing through on Audible and buying a bunch of Star Wars books recently, and I saw that was on there where they expanded on the comic story.
Yeah, I started listening to that. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this story already. What's happening?
But there's so much extra in that audiobook.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
so
really?
much extra about Sana and Aphra's relationship and how they met each other, how their relationship developed with each other, and like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
Marie, is that your answer then? Are you also a comics books person, or is there something else you can think of that you're like movies and then like this is my Star Wars?
Well, books and comics for sure. I've had a Star Wars review blog at the Star Wars Review.blogspot.com for several years now. I want to say I've almost hit either 400 or 500 reviews.
Wow.
So,
A lot of reviews.
yeah. So I read literally every comic book, every adult novel, young reader, young adult novel, children's books like C-3PO Does Not Like Sand, which is actually a pretty cute book. So I eat that stuff up. I love it so much. But then my other thing that's a little, oh yeah, that's a great book.
Sounds like a band name, Chewie and the Porgs.
Yes.
It's on our coffee table every day.
It's our coffee table book.
I love it.
But then my like even more niche thing is I actually have a YouTube channel called Aphra's Artifacts, which is about queer Star Wars. So that's like my very specific thing that I love.
Aphra's Artifacts? I'm gonna set
how
that
you
down.
have the time.
Yeah.
All of it. There's all these
question.
reviews, and then there's a YouTube to like talk. I was like, when do you sleep?
don't sleep all that much, but it's not like I'm walking around tired all the time. I don't know. I just am so amped up by Star Wars that I'm like, let's do this thing.
Let's do this hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
AJ, I don't feel like we've ever discussed this. What's your thing in Star Wars like that is a non-movie thing that like gets you out of bed every morning?
KOTOR, like absolutely. And here's the thing with KOTOR, with Knights of the Old Republic, I didn't play it until 2017 because I never had anything that would play it. Like my computer was out of date, never had an Xbox, so I played the entire game on a mobile phone in 2017.
Wow.
3 separate times.
Nice.
I love Knights of the Old Republic. That's yeah, and only the first one because once again, availability. Kevin Smets's KOTOR series, by the way,
Wonderful.
Everybody check it out. It's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah,
Any other games? Or
I mean, the other games, not necessarily. Like a little bit of Jedi Knight, like 1 2. Jedi Academy is on Switch, and I'm really tempted to give that a shot because I played Knights of the Old Republic on a fucking phone.
this just came out for Switch too, but I just got from Limited Run the Star Wars Pod Racer re-release.
Yeah,
that was for the N64.
I had it on 64.
Such a good game.
The Force Unleashed games were a lot of fun too. I remember, I know they're not canon anymore or whatever, but I remember having a good time with those. And Starkiller was a cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Force Unleashed. Yeah.
had
First one was awesome. I played some of the second one. I don't know if I ever beat it, but.
So French mentions Fallen Order being pretty good. Does anybody?
Fallen Order was awesome. Yeah,
Platinumed it. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome game.
There's a prequel comic to it.
Silver,
go read
maybe
that.
bronze. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was good.
Juice, you're up to bat. What's your thing?
Well, I would. So AJ, did you just go video games?
What's that?
With your answer, or did you not?
I mean, yeah, Knights of the Republic mainly, and minus Tirith. If anybody remembers that one, it was the horrible fighting game for PS1.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
I'll go pretty full force just into video games in general then, because like the original Star Wars Battlefront games 1 and 2 were like, that was it. That was on PS2.
Oh.
My friends and I, well, Jacob and our other buddy still play that to this day all the time. We just go ham on that thing.
Man, the scale of those was crazy. The ship battles where you could go inside the other ship and blow up the core. That was the coolest thing.
Yep. Yeah.
And then plant bombs on all the hangars, on all the ships in the hangar. And
ship battles and and you can finally be like a Jedi, but it's like sometimes it's just more fun to be clones or stormtroopers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then even the Lego Star Wars games, it was so cool to just be able to play just anyone, especially when it's a complete saga with all of them. You could be I can be Darth Vader and go fight Qui-Gon Jinn, or do whatever, that was really fun. I didn't play a lot of the original Pod Racer, but I played a lot of Pod Racer Revenge on PS2 because that you could blow up the other pod racers.
Oh shit!
So it was pod racing, but you're trying to get KOs.
No way.
So you could literally get
Lego Star Wars. You say?
I see that.
I didn't know that there was I didn't know about Pod Racer Revenge. I didn't know that came out. That sounds badass.
It is. Yeah, it was.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Lego Star Wars are dope.
Oh,
that's a whole that's one thing I didn't even mention. That's a whole nother way to enjoy Star Wars, the Lego, the amount of Lego that they have for Star Wars is insane.
Created a legitimate AJ. This will get you going. I I created like a Star Wars Fire Emblem crossover with Legos.
What the fuck? If you guys don't know, Fire Emblem is my video game. It is my thing.
I have like 100 cards that I created with like in the Pokemon style. They're all at a friend's house though. Otherwise, I just start whipping them out.
Whip them out right now, yeah.
I have some of my vehicles back there, but all like the characters and the cards are at a friend's house. But
so real quick, we have a piece of digital art that's going to be auctioned off as well.
I was thinking of drawing whatever they wanted instead. That was just a sample of if they wanted to see the.
Oh man,
so
quality of the art.
But, this is a piece from Mr. Danny Martinez.
Very nice.
So
That's awesome.
going to do a custom piece as well.
now we're like talking my language. I'm a sucker for Star Wars.
Yeah, whoever wins the raffle, you can tell me what character you want from. I mean, ideally from Star Wars. But it doesn't have to be, I guess.
We're talking about it tonight, so.
And I'll get you a digital art.
This time he has the high ground.
Yeah, we can send you directly.
I want somebody to just win this and commission a piece of John Getz.
John Getz and his
either John Getz, or they should have him draw.
We practically look the same. I'm not sure if anybody can tell the difference.
Real quick, we did have a Streamlabs from the French Taunter.
Did you say
saying, cheers, everyone. May the 4th be with you. My favorite Star Wars thing outside of the movies was HK-47 and Knights of the Republic. That sass combined with all those constant grammar jokes still gets me. Cheers, French.
Yeah, cheers, French.
Yes.
May the 4th be with you.
And then PLD just donated $10, saying, "All right, look, I'm working, so I can't be there. Jake is a homeless-looking, decrepit, stank-ass numbnuts that makes everything about as much sense as McClunky. Love you all, and may the force be with you, Jake. I hope Jabba drags his sweaty hot nuts all across your face." So we're keeping it positive tonight as we continue.
I just had a horrible thought. I'm glad Jabba is fat because otherwise we would see that. It covers everything up.
We've ever gotten.
That was like a small. Speaking of Star Wars novels, I think that was a small Star Wars fanfic there.
I think this is.
I feel like we need to compile both. Paul's
both of them in the crawl, right?
In the crawl.
Yeah.
Yes. Lego, sorry, you now have extra work. You're gonna have to do both. It's gonna be like a back-to-back crawl.
Now, is it hot like temperature-wise, or is it HUD balls?
Your dad is in the chat saying Family Guy Star Wars. That is very
Family Guy
cool.
Star Wars is so good.
Spaceballs. There's a
but
lot
even
of
better, the
spoofs on Star Wars.
Robot Chicken Star Wars.
Robot Chicken Star Wars.
Robot Chicken's the best.
Thanks, Lego.
What is your favorite thing outside the movie?
I mean, you know my answer. It's the theme parks. But I know that you're going to lead with that, so I'll go back to what I just said.
I'm actually not going to lead with that. Whoa.
Twist.
Oh, I think I know what you're going with.
Controversial? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if
I do love the theme parks.
If we're going to go with the theme parks, especially since Galaxy's Edge is opened, it's just a whole nother world in terms of Star Wars. We're fortunate enough to live about 20 minutes away from Hollywood Studios and our annual pass holders. We go there regularly. We've been on Rise of the Resistance many, many times. It is by far the best overall theme park attraction you're ever going to go on in your life. It's just out of this world. But
literally.
Yeah, hey, you got Oga's Cantina there now, which is fantastic. You got this Smuggler's Run, and just the whole atmosphere of the whole area there is great. You can get blue and green milk when you're there. They have that one of their stands is called Ronto's Roasters. That the grill is over like a pod racer engine, which is the theming there is just out of this world. So yeah, the theme parks are.
As Scott Trowbridge might say, you can live your Star Wars story. They really liked that line in the build-up to Galaxy's Edge opening. It is honestly very fantastic.
What's the best alcoholic drink there?
Okay, I got a few options for you.
And then I have a few options for you because we like very different flavors in our alcohol.
So it depends on what you like, honestly.
Stronger, sweeter.
Yeah. So when I go to the cantina, I've got it narrowed down to 2. One of them is called the Dagobah Slug Slinger. It's going to have similar traits to a margarita, but it's not quite as citrusy. The other one is called Jet Juice, which I'm sure you've all heard of Jet Juice before. Jet Juice is not a very large drink.
More like a shot.
It's like a shot size. It's maybe a little bit bigger than a shot, but it is potent. Like that drink will, if you have 2 or 3 of those, you're good for the day.
Is it like bourbon based or what is that?
It's Maker's Mark is actually the primary ingredient of that one, if I'm not mistaken.
It's nasty. But if you like drinks that taste really strong and nasty, it'll be up your alley.
I usually go Scotch or bourbon, so nastier the better.
Yeah, you will like his recommendation.
And then you can do either the blue or the green milk. The blue milk comes with rum, and the green milk comes with tequila. I actually like the green milk better.
And this is only in Disney World and Disneyland. You cannot put alcohol in your milk.
I was going to say, I'm not sure why I asked you guys that, because if I ever go to Orlando again, I'll probably just tell you that I'm going to the theme park.
And we will probably be with you if we know about the situation. But I'm a big fan of the Yub Nub. A, because what a great name. B, it comes in a really fun like Battle of Endor like mug. Which you can take home as a souvenir, but you do not have to. You can just drink out of it in the cantina and take cute pictures for your Instagram. But it is it's a rum-based drink. It's very like fruity, pineapple-y, sweet. There's a Cliff Dweller, which comes in this cute little guy. Sorry, he's got flowers coming out of his head right now. It's a little pork. That is a non-alcoholic one. It's very good. It's pretty. It's got crushed ice in it. I'm a sucker for crushed ice. I'm a big fan of the Bespin Fizz because it does have dry ice on the bottom, so it kind of makes it bubble. And again, that's going to be a little bit on the sweeter side. But yeah, the Yub Nub is my fave. One of our friends actually works at the cantina, and she says that we're literally paying for her grandchildren to go to college because we're there so often. And we see her quite. She's like, I've seen you more than I've seen my family this year because COVID and stuff. And she's like, literally. But yeah, so we like to pray, and she literally knows when she's like, Dagobah Slug Singer, Yub Nub. I'm like, Yub Nub, yep. So she knows her by heart. That is my one thing that I will. This is the one negative thing I would say on this entire stream, which is that's the one thing I don't like about special editions is they took away my Yub Nub, and that song is a bop. Okay, so justice for Yub Nub.
So we briefly mentioned Family Guy Star Wars, and still I think that Chewbacca Brian is the cutest thing in the Star Wars universe, even more so than maybe Grogu.
Okay, AJ, controversial. But we're allowed to think that if you want. We're staying positive tonight.
Oh, we lost viewers when I said that. Shit.
Oh, see? Exactly. People love Grogu. You can't hate on Grogu. I will finish off, I guess, this round of questions, and then I think Juice does have more videos for us to play.
If he does, yeah.
But mine, I feel like there's a couple ways I could go with this. I do obviously really love the theme parks. I just love theme parks in general. So obviously, if you combine 2 things that I love, which is Star Wars and theme parks, it's a match made in heaven. But I'm not going to say that. And another thing that you think I might say would be the TV shows because I am obsessed with them. And Ahsoka is my favorite character. But my absolute favorite thing, which like makes my heart happy, and like if you say Star Wars and you like want to give me like a happy thought about it, would be Celebration. I love Star Wars Celebration more than anything. You get no sleep, and you always get a cold, and you have to wait in a lot of long lines. And it is my absolute favorite. Like it is 4 days of people just having these conversations, and you meet like lifelong friends, and everyone is so positive, and we all like forget for like 4 days that we did or did not like The Last Jedi. And I like get to like talk to people that are way smarter than me and like know things I don't know. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds cool. Like I'm gonna check that out. And also like people speak like foreign languages, like video game talks. I do not play video games. None of that ever makes any sense. But I get so excited that people are so excited for like this new video game promo. I'm like, yeah, you go watch that. Go play that video game. Yeah, you do it. Get them. And I live for it. I'll be like, yeah, tell me more about that video game. That sounds so cool. And I love the merch and just everything. It just, I like basically walked in a blizzard. It wasn't, but for someone from Florida, it was a blizzard to get to the Clone Wars panel. And I like cry all the time, like thinking about Star Wars Celebration. Sometimes I cry, like happy tears. Like the closing ceremonies when they always like show that like sappy video montage. There's always like a little girl dressed as Rey, and I just bawl like a baby every time. I'm like, I just really love some. People are running around like Wilbur Hood. Like, name me a better time. You can't. It's the greatest thing. I mean, really conventions in general, but that one is like obviously like the big Star Wars one, and is fantastic.
The running of the Wilbur Hoods is pretty fantastic if you've never seen it before. It's
legitimately my favorite thing. So yeah, I am a sucker for Star Wars Celebration. For instance, talking about lifelong friends, the last celebration we went to, a very good friend of mine, she lives in North Carolina now, and she met a friend who she got into Rebels and other Star Wars content, and she was like, oh my God, I want to go to Celebration. It's like, okay. So we all bunked in a hotel room with each other and went to these panels and whatever. And then today she's texting me and she's like, I stopped watching your wedding video. And I was like, this is why I love Star Wars Celebration, because you like have this experience with someone and then you like talk to them years later. So it's great. That's my 2 cents on that.
So I've never been to a con of any sort. And it's so cool to hear.
Only one.
I thought your life was a con.
I mean, it's,
And I mean, yeah, let's am I the only person here who's never been to a con of any sort? Or
This is the only one.
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah, AJ, I've been twice now, but it wasn't until about a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, I guess, because 2020. It was until fairly recently.
okay.
Once
I want
you,
to
like,
hear
pop your,
everybody else's con, like
con
a favorite con
experience.
story.
Whatever.
I go to
And-
many comic conventions as often as I can. Little, big, doesn't matter. So I can't wait to get that back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be right back, but let's go with like a favorite con story from everybody, and then we can start to close out. By the way, we do have
another
that
video.
We do have another video.
Yeah, we have another video there.
Then let's roll tape. Go
I
into
can talk-
con stories and
Yeah, I can- Yeah. Do you want to roll that right now?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. I go. Okay. Yep.
Well, the beautiful footage.
Folks, the illustrious gold leader here. I could not be there in person today, scheduling conflicts. I'm a busy man these days. I got autographs to sign. I got people to visit, I'm vaccinated. It's Star Wars Day, and when I'm not conquering the Star Wars division in the Schmodown, I am actually just a huge fan of these movies. They mean a lot. There are lessons in these movies that can be applied to your real life. Sit down, enjoy these movies, let them move you, let them change you as they have changed me. And if you want to be like me, that's 100%. You want to be like me. So, thanks, folks. And, may the fourth be with you. All right.
Why?
All right.
no, as a fan of the exchange, let's say
Why
like
did you
that
whisper the
you're
last part?
vaccinated,
I don't.
though.
He's vaccinated.
So he can go out.
It's a good PSA.
I'm saying that wearing the hat.
I got a quick question. I think this is the perfect group of people to ask. Whenever somebody says to you, "May the fourth be with you," what is the proper response to that?
And also,
sentiment?
And also with
Spirit.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also with your fourth
As a
spirit.
raised Catholic person, it just
Yeah.
I do the hand motions too.
Yeah, I was like,
Encourage. I'm like, and also with you, and they're like, what?
Now, if you want to assert your dominance, you do this. You point your eyes, and then you point their eyes, right? You do this, right? Revenge of the Fifth, motherfucker. And then you walk off. All right?
I've always.
Listen, you're going to want to see their reaction. Don't look back. You do not look back. You walk away and you do not look back.
And this is how AJ got hit in the back of the head with a chair a couple times.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he only has minor brain damage. It's fine. It's totally fine.
It wasn't as big
You've
a deal
talked
this
to me.
year.
Do you
Yeah.
really think it's minor?
This was a little minor.
I always just say squeeze it easy to people, regardless of what they say to me, whether they say May the 4th or whatever. But you can find Gold Leader. You can't find him on this show tonight, but you can find him on the Gucciverse on Friday night.
Oh, I thought they meant like late night with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, me too. I was like, no,
There's only one more.
no wonder he's signing autographs.
That show would go off the air if Gold Leader went on.
Also, does that man have a top of his head? You never see above this point on his videos.
That's what keeps all the Star
So here's
Wars.
the thing.
It's actually
I do
Marge
know-
Simpson.
This is what happens when I don't slouch.
He wears he has a thing like Lobot kind of too, so he hides it. That's where all the knowledge comes from.
And they're claiming like Gucci, like that gold jacket was like a great gift. Gucci like got it handed down from like some Japanese emperor. But I'm pretty sure I have the red version of that jacket, and it was only $30 on Amazon. So
Now, maybe Gucci get that one off of Amazon, but it was originally in here.
Yeah.
You never
So
know.
here's the thing
Right.
about that jacket. I'm pretty sure that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Hey man, I got that jacket. The Japanese guy had it, and he was just like, and
Nobody
he's
had the
like,
Gilmore show.
I'm gonna challenge you, and I just went poof, and I took it, and that's how I got the jacket. Okay, that's
Thank you. I'm not the
I
only
was
one who
like,
does the hand
squeeze
movement.
easy.
yeah.
One of these days, I have not been to a Catholic mass in I don't know how many years, and yet it's instinctive. Like that's the brainwash started young. One of these days, I'm just gonna be like, tie your hands behind your back and just say, and also with you, and don't. Yeah. But
What do I do with them?
what do I do with my hands? That's me, literally every May 4th. I'm like, what do I do with my hands all day?
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal this year because I was just at home working. But usually, if I try to go out and about and do stuff, comic shop or something, and people say it, and I'm like, yes.
yes.
Indeed,
Today is
indeed.
May 4th.
Indeed, it is.
I guess you could say, I don't know. Yeah, my go-to response is, and also with you.
Also with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I only know that from the John Mulaney had a bit on that.
Oh yeah.
Where he had
About like
thing, 'cause
going to
I'm-
church. Yeah.
with the whole
And how they
that's
treat
all
it.
because I'm in a
And
different
also with your spirit now. So sometimes I say, not out loud to people in public because I don't want to weird them out, but between Mike and I, we joke around, we go, and also with your force spirit. Like we do that now because they did change it. I was in my friend's wedding a couple of years ago, and it was like a Catholic wedding. And I, like I said, have not been to church in ages. And I only knew that they changed it from that John Mulaney bit. And of course, I'm sitting up there, and you have to do like the mass part, and so you do the peace be with you, whatever part, and I still messed it up. And I was like, and also with your spirit. And I just wanted to say, and also with you. So Mike is ready with the
We'll give
raffle.
one more minute if anyone wants to donate to get their name in, but I have all the names based in $5 increments. For every $5 donated, the name is in there.
Right.
One more cool theme park
Actually,
story.
put names in a hat. I told him
I could.
we can do an RNG thing. We can make it easy. He got out. First of all, he got out fabric scissors to cut up paper for names in a hat, which is just terrible. Bethany's going to slay him after this. I'm making this up as I go. I'm acting like they're in the next room.
He
They're
did
not.
use-
They're in Florida. I'm in Nebraska.
Regular.
No, actually,
But-
but, scissors, I tore them up.
Oh, he tore them up.
he used chicken shears.
He used the force and
The
the
mother-
paper separated. is
He
what
used the source.
Wait, he used the lifesaver, right? Like he had to use a lightsaber.
He did. I let him.
I need a clip of Mike cutting up a piece of paper with an actual lightsaber that you guys have.
with
on
that
it.
as well.
Please, I like legit.
Also,
Also,
big shout out to Star Wars Kid, like, because he was doing this shit before. It was cool to be on the internet talking about and doing Star Wars stuff.
Oh, the kid with the yellow sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And
I always think of
it's the
Arrested
best.
Development when
Arrested
I
Development
think of
made that.
Star
Yeah.
Wars kid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Star Wars kid.
Him and oh man, who's the kid with oh shoot, he was like it was the full force or something. It was like never go full force or whatever. Like there's an awesome YouTube video of
I
that
haven't
too.
seen that one.
It's I'll pull it up quick. I'll have it.
Oh jeez.
I'll have it for us. The kid it's like the kid like falls over. It's like
All right.
sad but hilarious. Anyway.
Last call for the Streamlabs, then we're gonna make this raffle drawing. So.
And well, we're gonna have one more thing I think we're going to do before the official raffle drawing. I just got something from Juice. There's something in the World Friends chat. If you can check that out real quick and see if we can get that in from Lego.
Oh, nice.
Give me a
Sorry, making
second.
scroll. She's on top.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you can see it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that scroll is very positive.
So
It's all
while I
over.
am pulling this up, no, never mind. You guys keep talking.
There. All right. While we do the drawing, while he's pulling it up.
Right.
All right. Names are in the hat. Bethany,
I can verify their names in that.
reach.
Oh, I'm pulling it. Ooh, this is my time. I've always wanted to be Vanna White. It's an easy.
You've always wanted to be in Double Dragon?
Lofty goals.
And the winner is I only
Wow.
have one. What is like
Wow.
when Tyra used to be like, I have one picture in my hand. This will be America's Next Top Model. It is Matt.
Matt
All
Munoz.
right, Matt. Nice.
So what was
Nice.
Matt drawing for?
Matt
The
said,
fourth was with you today.
shoot us your mailing info on either to any one of us or through the Twitter DM, and yeah.
Just put it in the live chat. Just put your address in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, we all want to come visit you.
Congrats,
Your
Matt.
social too. We need it
He
for
is.
other reasons.
He's one of my awesome patrons. I might be able to find access to that as well.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Wait,
Oh
you
my
want to draw
God,
the other
a
name?
fellow Juice patron. Hi. Thank
Y'all
you.
want to draw the
Yes.
other name?
there's like three of
Oh.
there's like three.
Are we drawing another
For the
name
drawing?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
for the
So-
drawing?
Yeah.
For the
Hold on,
for,
he's-
for the digital artwork.
Draw
He's
for
throwing
draw.
all the Jake slips out off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't deserve your good art, Danny. No, I'm just kidding. We love you, Jake.
I'm scared of what Jake might ask for. Not
You
gonna
should
lie.
be.
All
It's a
right.
good thing Quiz Show didn't donate because he
Order
would
a
be like,
bottle of Bud Light.
This will be. It has to be safe for work. All right.
oh boy.
Disclaimer.
So Paul's not allowed. He's off the table as far as like
That's Brandy.
subject goes.
Brandy, you're not going home empty-handed today. You are going to get a digital art.
All
Sign up,
right.
Danny, and
Yeah, Brandy. Just
make sure
message
it's
me.
safe for work.
Just message me on
Everyone's
somewhere.
Just be on somewhere.
So
Juice, you got that scroll for us?
That sounds like a no.
Juice.
Give me a second.
Well, I like a quick. While we wait for Juice, I want to say
Hit me with
my favorite character is General Grievous, and he's only in the movies for 7 minutes, and that's all it took for that.
But
dude
it
to
was an
become.
impactful 7 minutes.
Yeah,
So
that's all it took for him to be my favorite.
And he was awesome in the 03 Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
He was in that.
Yeah, Tartakovsky's. Oof.
Mhm.
I think it's always it's a combination of the droid aesthetic with the Jedi sword, with the lightsabers. Like that dude had everything. A cool
Yeah.
cough, just fucking everything.
let's share favorite characters. If
yeah,
am I
that's
doing
okay.
this?
We did not even talk about that.
Marie, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Well, Anakin is my
Yes.
favorite Star Wars character. But on Facebook, the long, I forget what it's called, the cover photo, I guess,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
photo that's in the back,
The big
it's
one, yeah.
Admiral Trench.
Okay.
Oh.
Who's the tarantula admiral dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I really like him. I think he's super cool.
I mean, we mentioned like a little bit with say Anakin, you growing up with him. Let's talk about Trench a little bit. What's some things you love about Trench?
Well, the fact that he's a tarantula guy, so he's a hark, but tarantula in Earth terms. So I actually have had consistently at least one pet tarantula since I was 10 years old. So I have 4 right now.
Wow.
Wait, what are their names? I need to know now. I'm
Bitty
invested.
babies. Do what?
What are their names? I need to know now.
So there's Edgar Eugene, who I've had for the longest. Felicity Hope. And Padme Renee.
Oh.
And Josephine Alexa.
Nice.
There's 4. Do you take them out and they walk on you?
Not on purpose, no.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Occasionally things happen, but try not to do it on purpose.
Oh man, that's spiders. They give me. I know a lot of people love tarantulas and keep them as pets. Kelsey used to have a bunch. One time, the very last live Schmodown event. Hopefully they come back soon. Our dear friend Kelsey were staying in the house with her, well, an Airbnb to be exact. And right before she left for that trip, 2 of her tarantulas got out and were missing in her house somewhere. And so she brought obviously a suitcase like everyone does on a trip. And I was like, Kelsey, I swear to God, if one of them is in that bag and is not loose in this Airbnb, and she's like, no, I checked. I'm like, did you check though? I was so paranoid the entire time, but she inevitably, she did find both of them, right? Alive. Yeah. She did find both of them alive when she got back to Utah.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, oh God. I'm like, how did they 2? 2 of them are loose? What? This is crazy. Anyway, John, did we give you enough time to ponder your answer of your favorite character? We did
Snake, what's your favorite?
I've always liked Yoda. He's very short and sneaky.
That's fantastic.
Has a natural green camouflage for the jungle.
Do you prefer wise Yoda or unhinged Yoda from the original movies?
I'm sorry, wise versus what?
Unhinged, because
the goofy. Yeah. Okay. Oh, definitely the original. I didn't even know he was probably my favorite character until I saw Empire with the live orchestra, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra playing in front of it a few years ago, and the Yoda scene where he lifts the ship out of the swamp, the X-Wing. God, I would be terrible at trivia. He's lifting him out of the swamp though, and he's and it's the music swells at that moment, and every bit of dialogue in his first movie there is just golden. It's all just so beautifully acted and everything. And even in Last Jedi, which is not my favorite, his scene in it is definitely my favorite scene in that movie. And has got more golden dialogue in that one. And he's just awesome.
He's even more unhinged.
So, yeah, he's straight up just burning things at that point. He's like, fuck your text.
Prequel Clone Wars Yoda, when he's like, man, rules and whatever. I'm like, listen, Yoda, lighten up. But when he's unhinged, I'm like, that's my boy.
So as he stays dead longer, he just cares less and less about anything.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
He the facial expressions update with it too. That's the best part. It's just you get a little bit more of that. I got a weird one. My favorite Star Wars character right now is Beckett from Solo.
Oh,
I also say you said right now. It changes.
It might change.
It does change. It does change.
I guess that's fair. I think.
But I want a prequel series on Beckett. I want to see how his morality got to the exact point it did through those movies, through that movie. He's somebody who's really interesting. I want to see his development to where he got. Because if we're gonna do a prequel for Solo, I mean, let's do.
There was a novel,
and a comic.
There is.
Yeah, there was a solo. I forget. There were 2 solo ones. I think one of them was a prequel to the solo movie. And then the other one was like after the original trilogy. But yeah, it definitely looked that up. That's a pretty cool book, I thought.
Real quick, I know that we're on the process of kind of signing out, but we did have somebody just jump in the stream, and it's this scruffy nerd.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
What's going on?
How we doing?
How you doing, man? So
Good.
we were talking about
Good.
things we love about Star Wars. We were talking about final, like kind of like favorite characters, that kind of thing. But what's a favorite character you have? Make it count.
I mean, I'm the boy, but Boba Fett, my favorite character of all time. I think the dude is. Look, first of all, dude looks like a fucking boss. I think that I had that same thing up on that shelf right there.
Yep.
But yeah, and then he was the highlight of Mando season 2. Even though he's got his dad bod on, seeing him whoop all kinds of stormtrooper ass. That was worth 30 years of wait.
Oh, Boba Fett.
And I'm definitely going to be watching every episode of the Book of Boba Fett when it drops in December.
Oh, Book of Boba looks so good.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Right.
But
I'm
yeah,
excited, and I'm not even like a massive Boba Fett fan, so that's how you know that it's.
So we're kind of working on the wrap. So tell us why you love Star Wars, and then we're gonna move to Juice, and we're gonna like get this ready to head out.
Well, I love it. Ooh, that's a very loaded question.
Yeah,
I think Star Wars is
we
special.
all did this.
Yeah, I think Star Wars is a special place in my, for me, because that's just, it's a lot of things. It's a family thing. I remember like one of my earliest memories of seeing a movie in the theater was seeing Attack of the Clones. That was my first introduction to Star Wars. I'm like, what is this? Like the laser swords, like what robots, lasers, like, what has happened? And then I was introduced to all the other ones, and really that kind of outgrew my appreciation for just like movies in general. I watched all the originals, and I watched all the classic films, and like that really built my appreciation for just movies. It's a whole family thing. Like my family, we all love Star Wars. That's something that's like our bonding thing. Like all families have like their thing. Ours is Star Wars, and it's just a kind of franchise that just like it ignites such imagination because you can really it's such a wide universe of characters, wide universe of things you can do that you look at it and it's like so much can happen here, and like you build a possibility, and like it's storytelling, it's family, it's drama, it's so much that so many films and so many things, pieces of media try to do, and it does it so well no matter what it's doing. Even if the movies aren't great all the time, you still have at least something interesting in every Star Wars film. So yeah, that's why I love Star Wars.
Nice.
Love it.
That was beautiful. I like that. Juice, do you have the thing?
I think my favorite Star Wars character. Can you even see what the colors are?
They're changing right now. I think one's orange, one's blue.
It's red and purple. All right, whatever. Screw that. So the video that Lego shared doesn't have any sound, so I'm gonna try and add a little of my own sound to it.
Ooh,
We'll see if this
guitar
works.
solo?
I wish it's at the studio, but I'm gonna try it another way. That would have worked better. So I'm gonna try and hit play here.
Okay, I'm excited.
Could you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Was it loud? I could turn it a little bit down.
It was
Okay,
It was-
all right, I'll keep it there.
Right where
on
it
the
was.
quieter
Okay, all
side.
right, perfect. Okay.
That's so quickly for us.
I didn't hit play on the video.
Lego, you ledge. Oh god, it's so fast.
It's a fast
Oh my
speed
god.
reading.
You're a second here for y'all, like I always do. But you get
Let's start from the beginning.
there's an error, Civil War.
It's okay. We get to read it twice on the other thing. Oh my god, this is amazing.
I mean, this is really great, but it is very fast. Just one.
I do wish that I do wish that every Star Wars crawl was this fast.
Yeah.
And that they were all
And
just
then I'll
back
be
and
like, I don't
forth.
know, you guess what's going on. What the
And then
information
Obi-Wan
you
said,
need to
and then
know.
Grievous said, and then Obi-Wan.
It's like, wait, space taxes and war and it's gonna be on the test.
It's gonna be on the test.
It's amazing. Lego, you are a legend.
You know what? If it was that quick, maybe we wouldn't have to hear about people complain about the opening crawl of Rise of Skywalker anymore. No one would be able to read it. It would have been great.
Oh.
But no one would accept that they didn't read it. They would just be like, "Yeah, that was good."
Yeah.
No,
No,
people
it was
would see,
poetic.
People would see the dead speak, and then just like,
Yeah,
like,
the dead
the dead.
Ooh,
They'd be like, maybe in the
Give me
rest
a
of the crawl they explain what that
give me a
meant.
second.
Zombies,
Give me a
Star
second. I'm
Wars?
gonna figure this out.
I cannot wait to see the Rise of Skywalker version of that opening crawl with like an exclamation.
Just explain the whole backstory.
That was beautiful.
So then
Yeah,
Snoke
that
got
was-
cut in half, and then Palpatine came back, and then
Palpatine wearing a queen hat.
Describing it. And then.
And then.
it's like a Michael
God.
Pena version of a Star Wars crawl.
Yeah,
Oh, I
they
would,
should do that.
I would kill to see that.
But Payback's like, hey, yo, bro, I need this chick because she has the Force powers. I need the Force powers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then they turned out to be siblings, so it was gross that they kissed.
Then they came over.
It's always
And then
no.
she's a granddaughter, like, hey, yo, who boned this old dude? Turns out, no, he's a clone, bro.
Did I tell you about clones? I didn't even mention the clones. In Camino, they were making clones. We didn't even know.
Hey, yo, remember that's no dude. That's no dude. Yo, they got done in pickle jars, bro. Pickle jars.
Oh, someone please make this. I love this.
Does Michael Pena
I
do
changed my
cameo?
answer. This is my new favorite
Oh my
thing
God.
that I love about Star Wars.
If Michael Pena does cameo in
Michael Pena
everything,
Explains movies.
It's never actually happened, but it's our favorite.
But it's my favorite thing.
That beats whenever there was the George Lucas impersonator on SEN that was talking about the Snoke jar, and he's like, you can put in a quarter and get the Snoke if you win with the claw machine.
Although Josh Robert Thompson
Yeah,
with fucking Jar Jar as read by what's his face?
Morgan
Freeman
Freeman. Yeah,
is-
that was awesome.
Oh, so
I like
you're
when-
like reading like a Shawshank monologue.
no, he reads Jar Jar lines in Morgan Freeman's voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's great.
you have to look it up.
It's highly
I don't
offensive.
think I've ever
It's
seen
great.
that. How have I missed this?
I like whenever George Lucas and Arnold were flying the helicopter over Disney, and it's like Christian is being Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then
Yeah.
Josh Robert Thompson is Lucas. Just like, oopsie,
Yeah.
oopsie, I fired the missiles. He's like, no, don't do that. Oh my gosh, it was the best skit.
But yeah, if nobody's seen that, look up Josh Robert Thompson on SEN, or just Morgan Freeman Jar Jar. You'll find it in YouTube immediately. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And you will feel really, really guilty afterwards.
Oh god.
All right.
Okay.
Let's move along. Let's get some wrap ups going. Let everybody plug what they're up to. Let's start with John.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just finished streaming a certain game, Returnal, but I'm always streaming on Twitch just at my name, John_Gets.
Oh, hey. You never mentioned that before on this channel.
That's because I just started doing it, and I said I had always done it, so that was a lie.
Way to call him out. That's not cool.
Legend.
He's completely telling the truth. No, I made it like forever ago, but then I always did it on YouTube, and then I'm like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna do it on Twitch. It's a lot simpler. So then I started doing that recently.
Fair enough.
All right.
Just
Danny.
going in all like this.
I'm a
That's what AJ just did to me. Threw me through the window.
Mr. Danny Martinez.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, personally at Echo Spider. And you can find my podcast, Next Issue Podcast, at Next Issue Pod on Twitter, and on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Next Issue Podcast. On Thursday evening, we are gonna have a live show talking about the first episode of The Bad Batch.
Nice.
So if you've seen that, come hang out with us.
I'm about 20% into it.
Yeah, it's a long one. So yeah. But
it's
yeah,
great
come
so
hang
far.
out. We talk about all things comics, pop culture, movies. I do a lot of movie trailer reviews and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So,
homie.
Nice.
Badass.
Marie?
You can find me on Twitter at Alia Morgaine, and I review every bit of Star Wars canon except the movies on my review blog, the Star Wars Review.blogspot.com. And then I've got my queer Star Wars YouTube channel at Afra's Artifacts, where I have been having a blast talking about LGBTQ plus Star Wars.
I am about to dive like really deep into this channel. Like I have it, like I just subscribed and found it, and like I am so excited. Everybody, if you support LGBTQ and you love Star Wars, like I haven't seen any of your content on it yet, but dive deep with me. Like I want another new fan of this with me right now. So like let's go. Let's get some subs up on that channel like right here, right now, as soon as possible. Afra's Artifacts. Let's do this. And
also, I may have missed this, but sorry, when we were talking about Star Wars and LGBT, it just made me think of our charity of last month. Did we get a final tally of the month of April for our lovely charity?
so we had $180 to Black and Pink, which is a charity that is so awesome. I want to support them again. That does a newsletter for LGBTQ and HIV positive prisoners throughout the country. They're based in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown, and they distribute to literally thousands of newsletters every month. We had $180 in donations. I rounded that to $200, and we sent that out the day after. And that's what we do here. Like we want to put a little good out in the world. So kind of awesome.
Can we get a link in for Marie's channel, please? Because we have a couple people asking for it.
Yep.
Yeah. I have it on my mobile right now, so I need to.
Yeah, if you type in Afra's Artifacts, is the first thing that comes up. So
Thank you,
how I
Danny.
found it.
Perfect.
Appreciate that. You real MVP.
Yeah,
And then our last little cherry on top of our Sunday tonight there, Chance. Where can the lovely people of the internet find you?
Well, I don't have anything exclusively Star Wars to promote, unless.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Okay. So nothing exclusively Star Wars, unless like outsource a kind of like a Bad Batch after show, because my boy Russell does not watch it, so I'm just not gonna watch it. I know for a fact. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, ChanceWars_91. Check out my podcast, Toys by Chance, where we just talk, all kinds of movies. I think we're doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit next. Sorry, ET's doesn't look like it's gonna win.
Dang it, Chance! I was pulling for it.
I can't step the ballot box. It's not fair. That Destroyed by Chance on YouTube. We do stuff on there all the time. And the Schmodown, where I think it's confirmed. Yeah, you'll be seeing me back in IG, which has Star Wars. You'll see me back in IG, where I take on Robert Parker again.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Use your words. Come on.
you said Robert Parker again?
Yeah.
We might need to cut the last couple minutes off of this video.
I don't know. What is happening?
I don't know what's going on.
What is happening, AJ?
Speaking of all of this kind of good stuff,
Chance and Robert Parker is a match?
Yeah.
That's a match that's been announced?
Yeah, it's been announced.
Oh. Oh.
I totally did not think that had been announced.
No, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't announced.
I thought you were doing some bit where you hated Robert Parker or something. I was like,
But it was like 4 hours into a stream and nobody knew. Like,
and AJ, you wouldn't cut that, you would change the title to Special
Yeah.
Schmodown
Breaking
Announcement.
news.
Get those clicks.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting for that one.
All I could think of, honestly, when you talked about Robert Parker was his Schmodown name. And then it made me think about how Marie is the mom of 4 pet tarantulas. So that's where my mind went. And then AJ just started sputtering. But I was like, tarantulas, she has 4 in her home. Oh.
All I knew was Robert Parker is changing out the bed or falling over.
Well, yeah, that too. Actually,
It's
where my
singles and
mind goes there.
teams, which haven't been announced yet, which I can't talk about.
Right.
But by IG, that's public.
But if
That's
you
public
wanted to, now's your time.
What? Just say some things that rhyme with it, and then technically you won't be leaking it.
You want to tell us the name.
So for the audience,
Yeah,
Movies Trivia Schmodown is this
Oh,
thing
God, I like
where I will explain the entire thing from beginning to end, and we'll start right.
Start a Star Wars
Yes.
crawl about it. So there was this guy, Christian Harloff. He was reviewing movies, and
Aim for the
That's a
bush.
But I
project for
want to
another
like
day,
those
but I
versions
like
real
the
quick.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This is in
So,
typical fashion. off the rails.
before we do our things, I'm going. I have a quick thing to plug. We're going to be doing not necessarily we, but I have this independent project that we're going to be starting. Maybe through this channel, maybe through another. That is the Air Bud Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's coming out.
It's going
It's
through
happening. It's happening,
14
everyone.
films in the Air Bud franchise in a totally necessary 14-part series, and talking about their extended universe of films.
Yep.
There's going to be another thing we're launching. It's going to be a short form content that's called the Reynolds Wrap, where I update people on the aviation gin Ryan Reynolds away from office email every single time it updates in a 2-3 minute video. So with that,
I think that's fair.
this is the May.
This is the
hold
May.
on, before we go, what about next week? We're not even sure what this is yet, but
But we're
next
doing
week
it. Mortal Kombat Pro.
it's the Mortal Kombat.
I
If you
finally,
get
I thought I
nothing-
hit my prom quota for a year.
No, Juice, you're chaperoning another one.
Mortal
Big
Kombat
fan.
Prom.
It's
I'm gonna
Mortal
dance
Kombat.
at this one.
I like two-thirds of these people, you're going to die. If you don't put out, you are going to die. Like there's no other way.
Yep.
No,
That's
no
one of it.
bad
and if you
baladies.
do put out, you're probably also going to die.
And on that
Friendships
note,
only.
may the fourth be with all of you, Star
You have
Wars.
sex and you die.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Also, Make a Wish is our charity this month, everyone. So thank you for the donations tonight.
Till next.
Cool.
Man.
Good night.